Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video on staining and installing polyurethane on hardwood floors. These oak floors down here in Florida, this house really could have been a tear down. The floors are absolutely destroyed. You can see something here throughout the house. There's like burn barrel marks, stuff like that. Anyhow, a couple of things I want to just make sure that you're doing when you're staining. A darker stain is going to cover up more imperfections in your floor. So you might think about, if your floor is destroyed, going ahead and darkening the stain. This is a dark walnut on an oak floor. And I just did one coat. And you can see it, it kind of blends in all the imperfections of the floor. You don't really notice them as much as if, say, you did a really light stain or a natural. The imperfections would pop out a lot more to your eye. Let's see here, what else? So once you're done, typically stain needs to dry for 8 to 24 hours, somewhere in there to be safe. For an oil-based polyurethane, I'm using an oil. You can use water. I'm using a bare oil-based satin. This is one coat so far. It's still kind of wet. A couple of things. So when they talk about wet edge on the instructions on your can, it's talking about don't let your floor set up and then walk away and then come back and try and tie it in, because it's just going to pull differently. It'll be kind of nappy and may stick to your brush, or in this case for floors, if you use a wool, lamb's wool head on this, it works amazing. Save you a lot of bending over. You can get around corners. You can use a brush around here. I just go ahead and prime it and then paint it. These still have to be painted anyway, as well as install base trim. So let's see here. This is a lifesaver. Save yourself getting on your knees and doing all that by hand with a brush. This goes way faster. You can just pull it right out of the pan. And then when you do it, go with the grain. So these ones, the grain is going this way. So I started over here, you get everything wet, and then I pull from this edge to the middle, and then I pull from this edge to the middle. That way I have one continuous stroke for the most part. The hallway is kind of difficult because you can't go edge to edge. But in your corners, the bedrooms, you just do one long row at a time, and then make sure you overlap. I usually overlap, maybe a third, no more. I mean, kind of wasting your time doing more than a half of an overlap, but a quarter to a third's ideal. And let's see here, what else? It recommends that if you aren't going to go over it, floors, you can't really go over them in 2 hours. Again, that's typically, those directions on your can are for doing small projects where you can hit it again while it's still slightly wet to put 3 coats on. Hardwood floors need 3 coats. You can get away with 2, but it's just not going to last very long. So go ahead and do 3 at minimum. 4 is ideal. 5 if you want it to last for eternity. Maybe not quite eternity. Let's see here. So you're going to let this set. So polyurethane, this bare fast drying, I can get on it again in 8 hours is what the can says. I'm going to go ahead and let it sit for 24 and then get over here and do a second coat and then a third coat the following day. And then what you want to do is you want to let it sit for 24 minimum, ideally 48 hours before you really do any kind of traffic on it. And then the total cure time on the can is, I believe it's 72 hours, 3 days, 3 to 4 days, something like that. So at that point, they say you can go ahead and put furniture on it. And again, that's the bare, fast drying, oil-based poly right here. They say recoat in 2 hours. Well, yeah, but you can't walk on it, so you really have to wait the 24. So a couple of things. Do it out of a pan. I wiped it all out, cleaned it out. That's just dried paint on there. Just pull it out of, fill that up, save yourself a ton of time. Use lamb's wool pad You can get them at Home Depot. I think it's like 13 bucks, and you can reuse it. Just use mineral spirits to clean it out on a regular old broom pole there. And I hope that helps. If you could like the video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always appreciate that, and helps me to know that people are watching my videos. Also, if you have any questions about anything, I'm pretty knowledgeable. I've been doing this for 26 years or so, construction at a high level of actually doing it. So any questions on that, fire it in there, and I do reply to messages. So I hope it helps, and good luck.